Okay, good evening everyone. We're good to go, I believe. Everybody's logged in, I see, and ready to go. So thank you for listening in. First and foremost, we're going to do a presentation on a company that we've all fallen in love with and that we think is going to grow hugely in the next few years, which is called Organo Gold. So first things first, I want to give you a bit of a background as to why myself, Simon, David Hunt and Victoria entered this business. And hopefully you'll be able to sort of see similarities between yourselves and why it may be of interest to you too. So we'll go to the next slide, which is us in all our glory. Right, so there's me at the top in the middle. You can see I'm pulling a nice face after a game of football. The reason that I got involved, for those that don't know, I've played football professionally now for 14 years. I'm actually retiring on Saturday, got the last game of the season, and providing Brentford don't make the playoffs, then I will be a coffee salesman as of this time next week. So from a personal point of view, as well as playing football, if I'm honest, I've always had business interests. Football has been a bit of a vehicle really for me to play with the businesses that I've got and build businesses. So for those that don't know, about 9 years ago now, is where it started for me, where I went on Dragon's Den with my headwear concept, Dr. Cap. That was a retail business, and that kind of started for me what has now grown into 4 different businesses, with this being the 4th and potentially the biggest. The other 2, one was is a football agency. We've got a Premier League player, we've got a couple of starting Championship players, and lots of really good young lads. I've also got goalkeeping academies around the world, which I know we've got a couple of guys on here actually that are involved in GK Icon, my goalkeeping business, which allows coaches the opportunity to use our brand and coach in different areas of the world and build successful businesses. That leads me on quite nicely as to why I then came into Organo Gold. Reason being was I've had experience with retail, obviously with Dr. Cat. I've had experience with franchises. This effectively marries the 2, and I'll explain why in a minute. So I was looking actively for a network marketing business. I played around with 1 or 2 others. I didn't fully buy into the concepts, if I'm honest. This one I came across about 5 months ago. I spent a couple of months doing my due diligence, and I've now spent the last 3 months doing it properly, and it's just exploded. And it's effectively it's made me realise that my decision was correct in choosing A, this business, and B, network marketing. The basic idea behind network marketing is that I have the opportunity to help others build their businesses. That's effectively what it is. It's a superb product, first and foremost. I'm a big coffee fan myself. The idea behind this we'll talk about in this presentation and why it is different and why it's gaining such a following. So for me, it ticked a lot of boxes. So first things first, I then decided I need a team, and you see that team in front of you on the screen now. And we're the ones that have pioneered this to an extent. We each bring something different to the table. So as I mentioned, I bring the business side of things, which we built the team, the website, a lot of the stuff behind the scenes. We've also got Simon, we've also got David Hunt and Victoria. I'll now pass you over to Victoria to give you her reasons for joining this business.
Hi everyone, thank you Richard. Well, I have a different perspective from Richard. My passions are personal development and health. I'm raw, vegan and very much into the health side of things. And I came across this business through Richard and realised that I can incorporate all my passions within it. Yeah, so this business brings all my passions together, and it allows me also to work the hours that I want to work around looking after my daughter, because I'm also a single mum. So yeah, for that reason, yeah, I'm in and really enjoying it.
Great stuff. We'll move David.
Yeah, no, my reason is very similar to Richard. Obviously, a lot of you may know me that played football, but I've played football ever since I was 8 years old, so all I've known is football. It'll be good when you hear why Simon's doing this as well. But for me, I've never really been business savvy. I've never had an opportunity to build a business, even though I've had the hard work and effort there ready to put into something, but nothing's really been put in my path. I tried coming up with ideas and inventions, and then realised you have to get a patent for it, and it all costs. And playing the lower leagues, it isn't as glamorous as some think of lots of money rolling in it. Don't get me wrong, I've been blessed with football, but I'm 32 years old now, and my time's coming to an end. I definitely have a lot of time, a lot of years left in me, but managers looking from the outside that don't really know me, as soon as you pass 30 years old, they don't really want to know. So I knew that I had to find something to support my family and keep the income coming in. And during this time this season, halfway through the season, Oxford decided to terminate my contract, and 2 weeks before that I was introduced by Richard into Organo Gold. Now me and Richard have known each other since we were like 14, and we've been able to like bump heads together and come up with ideas, but we've never been able to get anything together where we could do a business until now. And you know, with the low startup, which you'll see in a bit, you know, it was near enough a risk-free thing where it was like, okay, let me study this product. And then it came to the product after 2 weeks. I was like, wow, this is unbelievable. And I've gone with it. You know, some could say it's a risk, but I look at it as a calculated risk. I know network marketing is huge now in the UK. It wasn't 4 years ago, 5 years ago, but people are really starting to understand with all these other big companies, and people are doing well from it. So we're going with it, and we're building a team that's different to most, which is why we've got Simon as well, which I'm sure you'll tell them, Si.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I graduated from uni about summer of 2012. Since then, I managed to rise through the ranks in a marketing company, became a marketing manager quite young, building a lot of skills in marketing. If you'd have asked me if I would have seen myself getting involved in an MLM even 6 months ago, I would have said, you know, no way. As a favour to Rich, I wanted to use some of my marketing skills to try and help him out with this. He asked me to try and help him get some sample leads, get some interest. He asked me for about 50. 2 weeks later, I gave him 30,000 sample requests. So that's when I started to take note and started to think, well, actually, I can use skills. You know, I may not be someone who is naturally a salesman or naturally a people's person as such. I'm sort of the one who's sitting behind the computer. But I realised that I've got skills to bring to the table. This is a great product in which I can utilise that. So I was hooked, and now I'm in full-time with this. So it's been really exciting so far.
Fantastic. So that gives you a bit of an idea of how this started. What I'll also add to that is that this team already, we're only 9 weeks in, has gone from strength to strength. We now have over 80 people in the team, which includes Premier League footballers, it includes a gold medalist boxer, it includes a few other names of type. The ones that have been really key to me, though, we've got a couple of people that are involved in the NHS, who work for the NHS. We've got a Chinese medicine expert who, when he came across this product, he signed up pretty much instantly, which for me, and I know for David was, and Victoria obviously, was huge, because we've got our belief in this product. We've done our due diligence. We've looked at the product in depth, the special ingredient that makes this as powerful as it is. But to have someone like him on board to really verify everything that we're doing just made me realise that we're onto a winner. So we'll move on to the business itself. So is this the right business for you? Well, that's for you to decide. The business itself, next slide. The business itself is these are the fastest growing industries in the world right now. So we've got the internet. I mean, we're on the internet right now. This just, you know, even what we're doing right now. If someone had said that 10 years ago that we'd all be sat around our computers or even our phones listening into an opportunity like this, you probably wouldn't have believed them. Home-based business is becoming more and more important and more widespread. Reason being, the world's becoming more automated. You know, I've had examples again today of just how much businesses are trying to become automated, and I get it. I'm doing exactly the same thing with a couple of things I'm doing. Do you know what? If you can limit costs, certainly with Dr. Cat, we went completely web-based, and I don't mind sharing this. We got to the point where, and we are now, we're turning over the best part of £500,000 a year purely online. I've got no staff. I've got no real issues. You have to send the odd cap, or you get the odd return. But other than that, it's a very easy business to do, and it makes a lot more sense than, to an extent, renting a shop and all the bills that come and the hassle of having staff. The next one to mention is health and wellness. Again, I'm sure all of you take supplements of some description, or you watch your diet, watch your weight, and you'll see now even in the supermarkets. Obviously, I'm close to Victoria, and she speaks a lot about this. And being a vegan like she is, she's huge on this, and it's so interesting how we're taught as to what is healthy and what isn't, and it's not always necessarily correct in what we're being taught. A lot of it is money driven, but it's just getting bigger and bigger. People are starting to realise a lot more now, and certainly something we'll talk about, an alkaline-based diet is something that's getting bigger and bigger, and that's where I mentioned the coffee, and we will discuss this in a bit. coffee is the second most traded commodity in the world. It is actually the second most drunk product second most drunk drink, sorry, after water, and it's just getting bigger and bigger. It was the one thing, or one of the only things during the recession that didn't go down. It increased. People will always want their cup of coffee. It's something that makes them feel better. So naturally, it's something that will fight pretty much any problem that we incur. So talk a bit about coffee. Some stats here for you. 2011, by the way, it's increased quite a bit since then. The total European coffee market was over 100 billion. It's the world's most consumed drink after water. As mentioned, it's the second largest commodity behind oil. On average, people that drink coffee have 3 cups a day, which are probably quite a conservative average. I know that as we're sat here now, I'm on my 6th cup. So it's something that the world does. There's a nice quote from Jim Rohn that was along the lines of, you make your job is your job. Your hobby, people's hobby should be your business, and this is people's hobby. So it's something that everyone does. It isn't a niche product. It isn't something that you're going to have to find that needle in a haystack for someone that drinks coffee. Everybody knows someone that drinks coffee. The chances are you know several people, and they know people, etc., etc. The average European price per cup is £1.50 to £2. Again, that's conservative. I think if we're going to Starbucks, Costa, we're looking at £2.50 to £3. And you'll soon find out that this is a fraction of that cost. So the timing of the opportunity. These companies here named have actually made this even more of an opportunity, and I'll explain why. Starbucks, as it says, £2.50 for a cup of coffee. Although in my opinion the product isn't brilliant certainly in terms of health, the product is very acidic. They add caffeine to their products. The coffee is often burnt, etc., etc. It's become a household name, and if someone had said to you 10 years ago, like, I've got a company that you can invest in, none of us did it. None of us invested in Starbucks. But had we have known what we know now, then I'm sure we all would have put some money towards Starbucks, knowing how big it's become. I mention that because my belief and our belief as a team is that Organo Gold is very much on that path. McDonald's, Ronald McDonald. No one sees him anymore. He's not around. The affordable McCafe is now much bigger than Ronald McDonald. The McCafes, there are even McDonald's now that are just popping up as McCafes. It's very much now a coffee company as much as it is burgers and everything else. Dunkin' Donuts, I mean, these are the couple that really got me. Dunkin' Donuts in particular, the name Dunkin' Donuts, they've changed their logo from a donut to a coffee cup, which is bizarre. I mean, if you see the picture in the top right-hand corner, Krispy Kreme, which we all know for being donuts, it's donuts and coffee. The world is realizing that this is such a huge market. There's a big markup in coffee. From a business perspective, which is obviously what I look at, coffee is a hugely profitable business. And thanks to Organo Gold, we've been able to enter that market, and we're seeing some great results. So the coffee opportunity, which brings me on nicely to why Organo Gold and what makes it a better choice. And I'm going to pass you over to Victoria to explain a little bit about the secret ingredient.
Hi, thanks Rich. Okay, so the ingredient in this is called Ganoderma lucium, also known as the reishi mushroom. It's an ancient Chinese herb, and it is known for all of its benefits. It's classed so high. Anybody in China and the areas, they know the benefits of this, but over in the West it's been really hidden and actually just sort of kept for the elite more so. So if you go to some very expensive health shops, you'll find this in there for sort of £60 for one of these mushrooms to make a tea that will make you about 10 drinks. The fact that we've got this in our coffee is pretty remarkable. So the benefits of it, you can see some of those written on the slide now, but I'll just tell you the sort of buzzwords that I will tell people. It's detoxifying, it's an anti-inflammatory, and it supports the immune system. So those three in itself, you don't need to have to be an expert. As Richard mentioned, we have got experts in the team that you could pass them on to, but just knowing that about it it's really appealing, and it makes, it lights people's eyes up when they hear this. So can we move to the next one?
Okay.
So you'll see here, this is the difference of other coffees to our coffee. So when this mushroom is added into our coffee, it makes the coffee alkaline instead of acidic. So a normal cup of coffee, you'll have to have 9 cups of water just to balance it out, the acidity in your body. Whereas with our coffee, it's a pH of a 5 instead of, it's a pH of a 7, sorry, instead of a 5. So it puts less stress onto your body. It allows your body, the oxygen to flow through. You don't get the jitters, and it has all the antioxidants that a lot of the other coffee, like Richard mentioned, you know, sometimes it's just burnt out of it, so there's not any of that natural goodness that you would normally get into it. If you want to pass it on. Okay, so this is more about our company and where the Ganoderma is grown. So we have the largest facility in the world for growing Ganoderma. We have enough for 100 years, and it's grown ethically in China, which is quite impressive. It's fairly traded, although we can't say it's fair trade. And we have enough for 100 years. So yeah, we're sorted. We're not going to run out of it. The way it's produced, it's halal, which doesn't mean it hasn't got meat in it. What that means is the way that it's processed has no alcohol because it's not done with chemicals. It's kosher, and as you can see under the bottom, all those certifications, just all the eco-friendliness, and it's got all the health stamps that you need to go into. We're trading in 44 countries, so it has to go through all of these certifications to get in there. And yeah, just a sort of extra proof of what an amazing product we have got.
Okay, we'll just go on to Hunty to explain the product.
Yeah, definitely. Now in the UK, it's like Victoria said then, this is in 44 countries. It's different products in different countries. So what you can see here on the table, this actually was taken from my table of my stash. This is everything that's available in the UK, plus 2 others, which I'll come to afterwards. So going from the left, you can see the black coffee. You've got the cafe latte, the green tea and the red tea in front. To the right, you've got the hot chocolate and also the cafe mocha. The 3 in the middle, the Uno Due Tray, they are the Nespresso pods. So they fit in any Nespresso or Krups Nespresso machines, which is great, which is a godsend for me because I was spending quite a bit of money on Nespresso pods, and now I've swapped that and have a healthier coffee in me. The red tea I want to touch on really, because all of our products have organic Ganoderma in, but the red tea also has organic cordyceps in. Now, people won't know what that is really. There was a piece in the Daily Express yesterday where it was saying how they found that they think that it aids for arthritis. So, you know, all these things coming out now are really proving to us already what we knew, but it helps aid credibility. So also the cordyceps is a nitric oxide, which for athletes is massive. Bodybuilders use it as well. In other words, that helps oxygen get into the muscles through the blood system a lot quicker. So it really is good, and some of the products that we got there are amazing. If we can just go back a sec before we go on to this one, there's 2 other products that are coming out that got announced 2 weeks ago that come out on the 1st of May. The first one is organic black tea, so your traditional cup of tea that most Brits would like, which is great for us because we've had a lot of people asking about it. And the second one is huge. It is, they call it the King of Coffee. It's been out in America for a little while, and now it's out in the UK as of the 1st of May. And this is organic coffee. Now, bear in mind, Starbucks, Costa, all of those, none of those are organic. So we knew we could compete anyway, but when we now have an organic coffee, we could blow people out of the water. And this also has the Ganoderma spores in. Now, the spores, I won't go into too much detail, but that is like the gold dust of the mushroom. So for this to be combined, this is the reason why they call it the King of Coffee, and we can't wait to get it out there. The next slide shows you it's a bit of credibility here. I'll start with down the bottom left because Manny Pacquiao, who signed up as a distributor, he's obviously got his big fight coming up this weekend against Mayweather, and I was a Mayweather fan until I joined Organo Gold, and I really am rooting for him. Manny Pacquiao now started up as a distributor, believe it or not. He is now an Emerald, which is about three levels above myself and Richard. So he really is going for it. We've got pictures of people sending us all the time of him drinking the red tea, obviously because he's an athlete. Also, there's pictures of him giving presentations, which is great. You know, it just shows that everyone's buying into this exactly the same way we are. Down the bottom right is Greg Norman, great golfer if you haven't known of him. His signatures on all of the Nespresso pods, and he's one of the ambassadors. And again, he signed up as a distributor. Top left, we've got, you can see Barca Real Madrid. It's been advertised around the hoardings of the Barca and the Real Madrid games recently, which has been amazing. You know, it just adds more credibility to what we believe we've got a great product. And this one here, we'll click on the right, is Dr. Hillary with Lorraine Kelly, which was 2 weeks ago. This popped up, and they did a piece about, if it will load, about the reishi and the Ganoderma tea, which you might need to turn the volume up, Si. Okay, well, I don't know if you can hear that, but I can't. In other words here, I'll just tell you, out of nowhere, they decided to do a piece on the reishi mushroom, which is the Ganoderma, in a tea, and mentioned that it was also in a coffee brand, but they couldn't name us. So it was huge, you know. It just, again, it adds to credibility of what we're talking about, and you know, it helps people understand that we believe we found something that's truly unique. The next slide, I'll pass on to Victoria because she knows about this.
Thanks, Hunty. Okay, so Think and Grow Rich. This book, it's attributed, a million millionaires have attributed their success to this book. Many people have tried to collaborate with it before, including Oprah and Mercedes, and they've never ever collaborated with anyone. However, they've approached Organo Gold and asked to have their have our logo stamped on the book, which is massive. If you know this book, then you'll understand that it's massive. If you don't know this book, I suggest you read it. Even if that's the only thing you get out of this presentation, I really suggest you read this book. So although it's Think and Grow Rich, it's not just about money. It's about personal development, and it's about having your definition of purpose. And in this business, you know, the mindset that you have has got you where you are right now. And if you want to change where you are, you're going to have to grow as a person and develop yourself. And if you read this book and if you follow the chapters, you truly will do this. It's an amazing book. It's actually this most second popular book after the Bible. It's had as many printings or whatever. So yeah, it's got a story to tell, and yeah, like I said, I really suggest you read it.
Great stuff. I mean, touching on that very quickly, and something that interested me was a couple of quotes. One was from Richard Branson, one was from Donald Trump, and there was another one as well, I think, from Bill Gates. It was along the lines of, what would you do if you were broke tomorrow? And all three said a very similar thing, which is they'd get on board a network marketing company and they'd start again. And the reason being, and I'll just touch upon this quickly, and I've got a good story about this, but the reason being is you've got everything there ready-made. You've got the quality product, you've got the branding, you've got the credibility. Obviously, with the team that we're building, which we'll touch upon in a minute, you've got added credibility, and it's something that just gives you a very good platform to build from. And that book in particular, that's kind of almost your script as to how to do well in this business. You know, I'd certainly, as Victoria said, I'd certainly recommend that you read that book. And then we've created a lot of information as well. And there is a lot of information online where you can learn even more about this business and the best approach to network marketing and how to get success. The story I was going to share with you is in regards to my goalkeeping business, and it just made me think of it then when I, watching this presentation myself. Like when I set up GK Icon, which is doing fantastic now, we've got 31 franchises. We're in Australia, New Zealand, America, obviously the UK. It's doing great, but it wasn't always that way. Initially, I had to get myself a website, had to get myself a brand, had to get myself some product, had to get an array of goalkeeping gloves, had to hire pitches, I had to hire coaches, and there was a lot of setup costs, to the point where I was actually 6 figures in the red before I made a penny. And that was when I realized about this and how network marketing works. And we'll explain the payment structure in a minute. I mean, to join this business is £190. £190, and you should be in profit within a week if you follow the advice we give. You make 7 or 8 sales of coffee, you will be in profit. So for me, it's where we said about it's near no risk. Nothing in the world's no risk. The biggest risk with this is time. The more time you can put to it, the more open-minded you are, the more that you embrace it and embrace our advice and utilize the team we've got, the better you can do. And that leads me on quite nicely to the 3 figureheads of the business. You've got Bernie Chua in the middle, Shane Moran on the right, Holton Bugs on the left. Actually, Victoria and myself had the pleasure of seeing all three of these guys in Lyon at the convention a week ago, and certainly Holton Buggs and Shane Moran are two of the most inspirational people you'll hear. Their individual stories are very powerful. Holton Buggs, he entered network marketing when he was young, and network marketing is very different in the States to how it is here. It's having a massive growth here at the moment because, as mentioned earlier, jobs are becoming harder to come by. People are realizing now that you need to create something on your own. Certainly, the amount of footballers we've got, the realization that retirement or injury, it could just be around the corner. So to have something set up on the side, to know that you've got a bit of residual income is huge. Over in America, they actually study network marketing at university. It's in Houston, Texas. It's one of the main courses they do over there. And actually, funnily enough, in Houston, Texas, there are over 30 diamonds, which is the top rank in this business. So over 30 diamonds in Houston, Texas alone. There's only one in the UK. And that's a Nigerian guy. He did it in Nigeria and moved here. Nobody's doing it to the level here that they're doing it in America. The reason I mention is Holton Buggs, he's a diamond. He's actually the #1 network marketer in the whole of the world, and he's done it via Organo Gold. He earned last year £15.5 million. So in dollars, I don't know, 22, 23 million, crazy money. And he was someone who really struggled. And the talk that me and Victoria had, and there was about 4,000 or 5,000 people in the auditorium there, it was a really inspirational event. And they have events going on all over the year. I'd certainly advise you to go to one if you ever got the chance. In fact, we're going, certainly me, David, Simon and Victoria are going to LA later this year for the next convention. He gave a really inspirational talk and explained how, look, this is a business. It's like any other business, the difference being that there's very little risk. However, if you apply the ideas that we're giving and the ideas that are out there, and as Victoria mentioned in Think and Grow Rich, you have that mindset where you're open to growth, you're open to following the process that we give. You utilize the fact that we've got fantastic people on board. You have a great upline that are going to really help you build, and ultimately we succeed if you succeed. So as David, in fact all four of us at the moment, we're traveling the country, holding CJMs, which are business opportunity meetings, doing things like this. We're really keen to help you get started. Holton Buggs gave this advice, and he said it took him 7 years before he got to the point where he started making any money. However, what he's now learned is that if you can then follow the process given by someone who is successful, you can cut out a lot of that. We've been doing it 3 months, and we're starting to see huge success now. That's not to say we haven't made mistakes, but obviously you can utilize the knowledge that we've already been given and we've already learned, and we can set you down a path that will really help you, give you the best chance of making a success of this business. Bernie Chua, as mentioned there, he's the founder. He's the brains behind this, effectively. Again, another really inspirational man. I'll let Simon give you a little bit of a thinking in regards to the why.
Yeah, well, I touched upon it earlier, actually. So I was someone who not so outgoing, not someone who would see myself as a natural salesman, but I looked at the assets I had and the skill set which I'm pretty good at, and my skill set was in generating inquiries, generating leads through social media, through marketing, and by applying that to this MLM model for Richard, I realized how easy that actually proved to be for me, and how I can actually incorporate some of that in this. And I've signed up, I've been a member now for 2 months, and I've done things which I never thought I'd be able to do in terms of self-development, in terms of how I've progressed, how I've learned so many ideas. And I've also, but above and beyond, I've been able to take stuff which I had in the office, in my day job, and apply that to now, and get great success for myself, and continue to help Richard and the Beam team is what we call ourselves. Anyone who's signed up as a distributor with Richard, help everyone succeed. So it's been a great couple of months, and something which I'm really thoroughly excited about.
That's a big point. I think talking about the why, and that leads us on quite nicely to this, where I'll be completely honest, like for the guys that are listening today that aren't part of the Beam team yet and may be interested, we've got a slightly different approach to the I know some people get put off, and I was actually in this boat where I was put off by network marketing initially, reason being that it was very American, it was very preachy and telling you must sign, you must do this, you must go gold, you must become a superstar. But to be honest, we've got a very different process in the UK. We're very different culturally, which is fine. We can still make a success of this and do it our own way. So This slide is who are we looking for. It's not a case of us reaching out and like, we need to sign you, we need you in our team. We'd love you in our team, of course we would, but only if you're willing to kind of give us or give the process the respect it deserves, because you don't need a great deal of time for this. Even if you can only afford half an hour a day, we can help you utilize that half an hour in order to become successful. However, for you to actually just sign up, just being honest, whoever signs you up earns a tenner. It's not huge money. So to actually sign you up is only part of the process. We need people that sign up to be successful. That's why we've gone above and beyond in regards to getting a flyer created, in regards to getting posters made, a point of sale so that coffee shops can house them. We're getting our own website. We've had loads of documents in the back office that we'll talk about a little bit in a bit. So we're going above and beyond, because if we can attract, as it says here, like-minded people who want to either have or want to develop leadership skills, good communicators, or again, people that are keen to improve that, ambitious, resilient. I mean, I mentioned resilient, and this is one, again, just being completely honest, you will get people say no to you. You know, we believe, and I'm on my sixth coffee of the day, I'm very much a product of the product. You know, I'm telling everyone about this, but people are going to say no. People at some point won't be in the right place in their life in order to accept an opportunity like this. So that's absolutely fine. Victoria gave me a good example the other day where she said, if a waitress said to you in a restaurant, do you want ketchup? And you said no, she's not going to take offense. So then why would you take offense if you offer this to someone and they say no? That being the case, why not tell the world about this? Once you buy into the product, or you have the belief in the product that we do and the passion about the product that we do, then it's that much easier to approach people and say, look, I'm involved in this coffee business. I drink the product. I think it's great. Makes me feel good. Try it. Give them a sample, you know. And that's why I mentioned resilient, because it isn't easy. It's not a get rich quick. It's a legitimate business that you have to put effort in, time into. Providing you do that, we give you all the support you could possibly need. And as I said earlier, it is a very low entry, and the potential to earn, well, I've got some stories. I mean, depending on what your goals are, you can mold this business to cater for them. So if it's an extra 300, 400, 500 quid a week, do you know what, that's done reasonably short term if you can build up your retail side of the business. If you're looking at the big figures, and there's guys I know in other network marketing companies that have been doing it 3-4 years and are earning 6, even 7 figures, if that's your aim, there's a way of doing that too, but it's a much different process, and it involves being a mentor of sorts and obviously dedicating a lot more time to this. But it can cater to your needs. If you've got the willingness to learn, as mentioned there, we can teach you a process that will cater to your needs. The biggest thing that we mentioned, as I mentioned earlier, it's not just a case of let's get you signed up and let's let you crack on and see what you can do. It needs to be the whole team environment that we've created with the Bean team, and you can ask anybody that's involved in it. I think everybody loves the positivity in the group, and we've actually got, in fact, some of the guys that are listening now, they don't know this, but I'm just arranging like our first big get-together, which will be a big garden party with, swimming, tennis, basketball. We're going to have lots of get-togethers like this, which people will be welcome to come to, and that's part of what we're creating as a team. We want it to be an environment of really positive, like-minded people who have the want for more and want to better themselves. So the Bean team, what do we do? So I've touched upon parts of this already, which, as I said, we created our very own Bean team. We've got a closed Facebook group, which has got all sorts of documents in there. Pretty much everything you ever need to get answered will be in there. We're even adding things like from as basic as a text that you can send out, or a Facebook message you can put on, or an email that you can send to a coffee shop. Stuff as basic as that. So the bigger stuff, where we've got video after video of the likes of Holton Buggs, Shane Moran, even the likes of myself, Hunty, Victoria and Simon, talking about different aspects of the business. I'm not arrogant enough to think that I know everything about this business. I'm confident, given the success I've had in business, that I can help people build a business. However, when it comes to the health side of things, I know Victoria is above and beyond me. When it comes to marketing, as Simon mentioned, I asked for 50 leads, he got me 30,000. The guy's incredible. When it comes to being a leader, for anyone that's in the group, Hunty's the man to talk to, and he is like 24/7 on this, to the point where he got offered a contract by Crawley. He turned it down because he wanted to give this a go. Now, some people think that's crazy. I'm retiring at the weekend, and I'm of a similar mindset. There is the opportunity that I could play League One, League Two, and earn some decent money. However, given the opportunity with this, my belief is that although it does take a bit of time to build, once you build it, this is the kind of thing that could earn you a residual income for years to come. Mentioned there the WhatsApp group, promotional literature. We're doing things that are private to us. So Organo Gold will produce flyers and posters and other bits and pieces. again, part of our commitment to this process is that I'm putting myself in distributors' shoes. So it's like, okay, you can sell to your friends and family, of course. You can make a few extra pounds or euros for the Irish contingent that I know are listening in tonight. So hello to Alvin and the Irish guys. So you can make a few extra euros if you were to sell to people close to you. However, the bigger business for you might come to getting into an independent coffee shop or into a gym or to a personal trainer or several others that have got really good routes to retail. So me being me, I put myself in the shoes of a distributor. We're creating more and more stuff that will make it easier to sell boxes of coffee. It's as simple as that. So flyers, posters, POP, which means point of purchase. So we've actually created it. It'll be ready in a few weeks. That can sit nicely on a countertop. It can display all the product. It'll have all the information there. So if someone were to walk into a coffee shop, they'll see a poster that has all the information about the product. They'll have a lovely point of purchase where they can pick up the coffee, go and pay for it. The coffee shop owner will make the same markup that they make on their regular coffee. And for you, obviously, it could mean, I know one of our guys today just sold, I think, 12 boxes into a coffee shop. For you, it's the kind of thing that can be easy money, if I'm honest. Once you've got 3 or 4 coffee shops on board, potentially, you know, the amount of coffee they could get through. And the great thing with this coffee, and this is something that I'd certainly ask you, for those that are involved, what people find is once they've had a box of it, if they don't touch another coffee and just have a box of this, which ordinarily will last a couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, if they just have this, they'll find it difficult to go back to a normal coffee because it does change you on a cellular level. It's to the point now where I'm going into McDonald's, Starbucks, Costa, and I'm ordering a hot water, and I'm putting my own sachet of coffee in. Now, I feel a little bit cheap doing that, so I normally order a cake as well, just so that Costa don't kick me out. But it honestly has got to that point. I can't have a Costa or Starbucks coffee because of how it makes me feel. Promotional merchandise. So we've got, again, quirky things like a badge that we'll have at the end of the week, which simply says, ask me about my healthy coffee kind of thing. If you've got the guts to wear that on a day-to-day basis, you will get people asking you about your healthy coffee. Private information website, theogbeanteam.com. Just seen the first draft. This again will be ready early next week. You notice with a lot of this stuff, we have got things like the flyers, posters, etc. already. A lot of this is going to happen any day now. Now, the good thing about that is, as I mentioned, we're very much in our infancy. The company is very much in its infancy in the UK, to the point where they've got a competition at the moment for the top 300 in Organo Gold. There's only 5 from the UK, the majority obviously being from America, Canada and Nigeria, funnily enough. Only 5 in the UK. I'm currently 3rd. David's currently 2nd. Now, the great thing about that as well is that you will get another thing thrown at you with a network marketing business from those that are ignorant. They'll throw a pyramid scheme at you. You'll get that. Pyramid schemes, they were made illegal 40-odd years ago. They involved no product. The guy at the top made the most money. Well, we're 9 weeks in. We got off to an absolute flyer. I signed David up. David's overtaken me. So obviously it's a legitimate business, it's a legitimate product. It's a product that people crave, and there is brand loyalty. When you get a customer, providing, I mean, I've got more than several customers now that buy on a monthly basis. First of the month, I send 4 boxes out to one lady in particular. You know, there's a nice little bit of profit there, and all it costs me is a trip to the post office once a month. You know, there is brand loyalty. It is a fantastic product, and so that's another point of note. So private information website. So as I mentioned, that'll be ready any day now, and that'll be a nice thing as well. Any guys that you get that have shown any interest in this, it can be as simple as, look, I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's a healthy coffee. I'll tell you what, rather than me tell you everything about the Ganoderma and why it's so much better for you than this, that, the other, go to this website, watch some of the videos, because there'll be videos from me, videos from Hunty, Victoria, Simon. They can learn pretty much anything they could possibly need to know about this website, even things like this webinar. You know, we'll have this recorded, and this could be something that, again, you send to people you know and say, look, do you know what? Check this out. It's got really successful people involved in it. It's growing at a ridiculous rate. This is going to be a household name in 4 or 5 years, and I think we could do well with it. You know, and it can be as simple as that. That's our commitment to you. Weekly fast start training. So this is obviously effectively a webinar, CJM. This will be called, which is a coffee jazz mixer, which basically means it's a business presentation. But there is all sorts of regular training going on. So there's training not just with us, but there's a millionaire mentorship call. I think it's every Sunday or Monday. I think it's every Sunday. Sorry. Which is a millionaire in Organo Gold, which, by the way, they created 50 millionaires in America last year. They haven't created a single one in the UK. But every year, one of the millionaires in Organo Gold puts on a call and explains how they got to where they got to. There's regular get-togethers. So as I mentioned, we've got our own private ones, but there's lots of these CJMs being held all over the country, and there's information going out about them all the time. CJM hosting, something that me and David have done, and Victoria as well in the last couple of weeks, is we've gone to various people's houses and done this presentation from those houses. So it's quite a nice way to get your business off to a good start. You know, if you're keen to recruit a team and that's your way of going about it, and you want to take on a similar role to myself, for instance, then a good way of going will be to host a CJM, invite everybody you know. We can present the opportunity. Then it's up to them. It's their responsibility whether they're keen to know a bit more or not. Learning environment, well-known names. So I'm massive into the learning environment, to the point where, I mean, I've got one tattoo and it means continual never-ending improvement, which for me, I try and live by that. My thinking being that the day that we think we know everything is the day that we die, effectively. So for something like this, it's a lovely environment to enter someone into. I mentioned the WhatsApp group again, but it's very much about everybody pulling in the same direction, very much about a team environment. You know, David and myself have been involved in teams. I'm sure David will touch upon this in a minute as well. But I know the best teams that I've been involved in have a real togetherness. You know, a team of 11 individuals and a football team aren't going to get very far. It needs to be a team with a common goal, which with this, you have a common goal. You know, even from the guys that are doing really well to selling, you know, 30, 40 boxes a month, to the guys that are selling one box a month. It doesn't matter. We're just as happy every time someone sells a box and shares their story and gives another way of looking at this opportunity and how you can really get it out there and do well with it. Well-known, credible names. This to some people means nothing. To other people, it means the world. And like I mentioned, we have got some names of note, and we're going to add a couple more celebrity types. Doesn't change the product, doesn't make it a better or worse product. What it does in some people's eyes, though, knowing that you've got credible, successful people in their own right attached to this, you can leverage that. So what I found, I've even found it myself, some of your closest friends won't necessarily buy from you because they know you. You're their friend. You're not someone they do business with. So you'll say to them, I've got a great healthy coffee, try it. They'll try it, but they might not buy from you. However, we've been able to, using the people that we've got on board, you can leverage a lot of the names. So whether it be myself and my business background, whether it be Simon and his marketing, whether it be the Chinese medicine guy, Victoria, raw vegan, David Hunt, you know, footballer, leader, etc. You've got so many credible people involved. You've got a couple of Premier League footballers, gold medalist boxer. I mean, the gold medalist boxer, I won't mention her name now. The guys who are involved know who she is, but she's getting out to the Boxing Federation. She's loving the product. She's massively on board. And these are people that don't necessarily need the money, but it's a case of actually they've seen something here they like and they've jumped on board. On board. I'm going to pass you over to Hunty to explain the Facebook closed group.
Okay, right. So in other words, I've been involved in the network marketing company before, about 3 years ago, and I know that not everybody's got the mindset of just going out and selling things. We've got quite a few footballers involved, but then I've got some people like Richard mentioned earlier, my cousin, he works in Chinese medicine, and he's just like done acupuncture for most of his life. I've also got some people that are from uni, you know, that have been put in the WhatsApp group earlier and showing us what they've been selling and what they've been doing, and it's great. But what I do understand is that if, for instance, we just signed you up or you came on board and then we just left you to do your own thing, you know, you may feel like you're on your own, and everybody needs that motivation of a team, and it's the same in a business, a normal business. It's exactly the same way. I know what it's like when you have days when maybe you haven't made a sale, you're like, oh, and then you see other people's success stories put in the WhatsApp group of what they've done or how they've gone about it, or you can even ask them, you know, what should I do differently? So what we've done is we set up a WhatsApp group and we set up this Facebook group. The Facebook group is hidden. It has loads of documents in it. It has things like what's in the product contents. It also tells you the price list. There's so much on there, and if the things aren't on there that you need, you get in touch with us and we'll get it there. You know, I've had a couple of meetings with people that are prospects recently, and they brought up a few things that we possibly didn't have the answers for. So therefore, we're going to go away and get them, and we're going to put them into PDF format. Therefore, next time somebody asks, or if they need it themselves, then, you know, it's there for us. So we're always expanding. We did a CJM last night. There was one guy that you could tell he was very knowledgeable, wasn't in the business, but he started asking questions, and it's like, we're not closed-minded, we're very open-minded. If people have something to say to us, even though we're giving this presentation, we're still going to learn. So if there's something there that we think we can take on board, we'll do it, so pass it on. So yeah, like I said, we've got the Bean Team group. If you go on to the next slide, Si. and all these files are available to everybody that's involved in our Bean team, no matter who you're signed up with. Then on top of that, there's the ways of getting paid. Now there's 7 ways of getting paid, which I'm going to go through briefly. If you want to know more detail, we can do that. I've made a lot of videos. One thing I'll touch on just before this is that we've also made a startup packs, because I know that when I joined this company, because it's only 7 years old, bear in mind there's a lot of other big network marketing companies that are getting nearer to 40 years old. Now, this reached $1 billion quicker than any other company, and especially quicker than Starbucks did. So, you know, it's huge, yet a lot of the resources aren't there at the moment. Now, the thing that I learned was I had to go and literally scour Google and speak to Organo Gold Direct to find out a lot of questions that I think the majority of people are going to ask. So what we've done is we've put them into a startup pack. So everybody that gets involved has all these training videos that we've made, they're 4 or 5 minutes long, tells you all about the payment plans. And it literally is a case of the 3-4 weeks that it took me to learn. If you study this for a good week, you'll be on your way and be far ahead of me than where I was at that time. So then there's the ways of getting paid. So there's 7 ways, and we kind of touch on the first 4, and if you've got the first 4, then 5, 6, and 7 will kick in. The first way here is retail. Now we say to people, look, if you want to come in and you just want to make a nice profit, like my friend that's in uni, he wants to make a nice little profit on the side, which is great, then we'll show him the way how. And if he needs any help, message me. We've got routes to retail, plans or telling you how to go and approach people, giving you price differences, what to expect back, you know, how much price per sachet. And this all comes under routes to retail. Now, you know, whatever you get when you're a distributor, you could make at least a minimum of 50% profit on each box sold. You know, like you said, Richard said earlier about going to places like gyms. You know, it's all independent places, salons, spas. Hosting these CJMs is great. Person-to-person fundraisers are massive. We've got quite a few events going on where we said we've got a lot of flyers and a lot of material that we're going to use to get out there, and loads of quirky different ideas. The second way of getting paid is, again, what Richard said. If you sign someone up, there's nothing to scream and shout about, but you get a little bonus for signing up for £10. If they're upgraded to gold, you get another bonus, which is you know, it's nice, but it's another way that you'll get another income coming in. The third way is where you start to, you know, when I say people can just do retail, then if you feel like there's people interested, like some of you would be listening now, that want to build a team, like we're doing, then there's 2 main ways in building a team. First one here is a third way of getting paid, which is dual team. Now this is weekly, okay? And essentially all you need to do is get 2 people signed up. You get allocated a left leg and a right leg, as you can see on the diagram. And as soon as you have 2 people and they start building their team, you can earn income each week just from those, bringing in people on board and first orders, okay? As you can see on the left, this diagram here is literally on if 2 people sign up in a month, and then the second month, 2 more people, they sign up 2 more people, and so forth. Now this is going on, everybody just signed up to, you look at what the number is down by 12 months, over 4,000 people. You know, like Richard said, we've got well over 70 people in our team now. Myself personally, around 25. You know, people are becoming very, very interested in this side of the business. And like I said, if anybody's interested in that, then we'll gladly show them exactly how it works and how to build it just like we have. The third way of getting paid, again, this is a dual team bonus here. Briefly, I'll touch on this. You see the one that's pointed in, gold consultant, that's what I'm at. When you come in, you're marketing associate, which is at the beginning. You can earn up to a maximum of £500 a week. It's capped because obviously you can earn more because you're only coming at bronze level. If you don't want to upgrade to gold, then they cap it. Where mine is, gold consultant, I can earn up to £2,500 a week, okay? After gold, then there's ranks of sapphire, ruby, emerald, which Pacquiao's at. Bear in mind, Richard will be hitting sapphire as of, he could possibly push it this month, but I think he'll definitely be there next month, and I'd like to catch up with him as well. Ruby is the guy that introduced us, so, you know, it's so untapped, it's so close to us that we've been doing this 11 weeks. The fourth way of getting paid is the unit level, okay? So this last one I told you, the dual team, and this unit level, it isn't like you get one, you get the other. You get both of them. The unit level bonus is literally a case of, say for instance, I signed up 10 people personally, all on my front line, which you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way down to 9, okay? I've signed up 10 people on my front line, that's level 1. They sign up 10, that's level 2. They sign up 10, that's level 3, okay? When you join the business, bronze, silver or gold, you get all those 3 levels. And you'll get 5% on all of those levels of all their reorders for the rest of the month. Okay? Which, like I showed you then, when you do the numbers of down to 12 months, over 4,000 people, that's so deep, and you know, this is only for 3 levels. The dual team, by the way, goes down to infinity levels. In 2 years' time, if you've got 100 levels deep, you'll still get paid on that weekly. This one here is down to 3 levels. If you get to Sapphire, you unlock 4th level, which is 4%, which Richard has got people in his 4th level, but obviously isn't at Sapphire yet, so won't make commission on them. And then if you get to the next level, unlock, and so forth to the bottom. The 9th level is obviously diamonds. You think how big that is for, say, Holton Bugs. It's massive. 5 and 6 and 7, yeah, they're just extra bonuses that come on top of it all that are mad. Like, we've been looking at it many times and thinking, geez, this is so lucky. There is actually an 8th way, which I'll touch on quickly. If you get to Sapphire, they'll give you £200 towards a car lease. If you get to the next one, Ruby, they'll give you £400 towards a car lease a month. So, you know, the ways of earning income is phenomenal. So then there's how do you get started. As soon as you get started, so you need to sign up for a business entry kit, which is £40. You'll get a back office, which is essentially your own website straight away. You can send people to buy. You could be sat at home and someone's interested. Yep, go to my site. They'll put the order through. They'll get it sent to them as well, and you'll get the profit into your Organo Gold wallet. You get a distributed binder, so that has samples in it and a lot of info, the badge, such and forth, brochures, applications. There's a variety of samples in there as well, so you might not have to open up your box if you want to save that to sell straight away. And you have access to everything at wholesale price. You also, when you start up, on the next slide you'll see, you have to go in at bronze. You can't go any higher. What happens is in the UK for network marketing, there's a law that no company can spend over £200 in their first, no person can spend over £200 in their first week. I don't know why this is, but it's in the UK. In America, you can sign up and go straight to gold if you wanted to. You sign up for bronze, it says £125 there, plus the business entry kit, £40, and postal packaging. You get 10 boxes with this, and straight away, like Richard said earlier, £190, you sell 10 boxes then for retail price, which is around £20 to £25 each, you will make well over your money back and profit. So, you know, when we say the risk is so minimal, we show you how to go about selling them straight away and setting up a list of people who to approach, and the majority of people are able to sell those. You can, after you've gone bronze, after a week, decide to upgrade to silver, which you get extra boxes and capsules, which is £210, or you can go straight from bronze, which is the other one, to gold, which myself, Richard, did because I wanted to build a business. And the difference between bronze, silver, and gold is the commissions you earn on dual team. When you're bronze, you earn 10%. When you're gold, you earn 20%. So essentially, you earn double. You know, for the amount of work your team's doing, you'll get paid double for that. If someone else is doing exactly the same work and they're on bronze, they'll get half. So to go to bronze is £900. This last part, do you want me to pass on to you, Rich? Would you like to explain it?
Yeah, I'll just go through the 4 steps briefly. I won't keep you guys too much longer. I appreciate I've been chatting away for a while, so we'll go through the 4 steps quickly. I mean, this sometimes can be a separate webinar in itself, but I'll touch upon it because for me, it is as simple as this. When we joined, and when I say we, obviously the 4 of us, I tried to reinvent the wheel to an extent. I looked at it and I was thinking we could do all these additional things, weird and wonderful. And to be honest, we've done some of them. However, a lot of it comes back to this. It's very, very simple. If you follow these 4 steps, then you should be successful. It's as simple as that. Firstly, be a product of the product. Now, when I joined, I kind of did it semi-half-heartedly initially. You know, we're 11, 12 weeks in now, and I'm stood at presentations wearing my Organo Gold T-shirt with my Organo Gold badge on and holding an Organo Gold coffee mug, you know, and I didn't think that would be me a couple of months ago, certainly. However, there is something to it. It's like anything you do. If you're passionate about it and you believe in it fully, then obviously it's that much easier to promote it to other people and recommend it. You know, we'll happily recommend a restaurant to someone. However, we might be a little bit reluctant to recommend a product that we potentially sell. The second thing of note is build a list of contacts. So it sounds very simple. However, a lot of people fall down on this step. You know, if you can build a list of 50 coffee drinkers and 50 potential distributors, it sounds like a lot, but actually when you go through your phone book, go through your Facebook, go through Twitter, you're going to have more than that. You'll have hundreds. Now, this is where it's not hard work, but it does take a bit of organisation. If you can sit down, and something, again, we can help you with, work with you on, if you can build that list and start to approach them, you'll find that you'll have 15, 20 customers in your Facebook list. You'll have potentially however many people that have an entrepreneurial side and have an interest in building something alongside what they do to form some additional income. They are there. You don't have to go out finding leads online or approaching people cold. You've got people in your list that will have contacts at coffee shops and personal trainers and all these other great things that can, or great people that can get this product out there. So that's number 2. Number 3, book 4 CJMs. What's a CJM? So it's a coffee jazz mixer. It's effectively what we're giving right now. So a presentation on the business, the reasons we got involved, why we believe it's going to do what it's going to do. We say book 4. This is where we come in. Now, naturally, we're bringing you on board, or whoever it is that's brought you to this webinar. It is a team environment. We're all incentivized for you to do well. So our thing will be book a CJM straight away, ideally at your house if you can, or somewhere local. Invite everybody you know. I mean, ultimately, it's their responsibility, their choice whether they join or not. We're not going to be there putting a hard sale on anyone. We're going to be presenting this, as simple as that. And if they're keen to join, then fantastic, and that can help kickstart your business. So they say, I think it was Holton Bugg said that, again, if your goals are on a big, big level and you want to have a team of people working alongside you and you want to build a big business, he said if you can do 4 CJMs a week, then you can get to a 6-figure income very, very quickly. Now, for a lot of people, that's not doable. We've got jobs, kids, everything else going on. However, do you know what? 1 a week might be doable, or 1 every couple of weeks. And by doing that and having the likes of ourselves helping you, hopefully we can build the business that you want to build and build the kind of income that you want to have alongside whatever you do. For a lot of you, it will be part-time initially. However, there is then the opportunity that in time, it may become more than that. The 4th step, plug into the system. And this, again, where I say you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Like, we've got everything there for you. It is a turnkey operation. You know, you sign up as a bronze distributor. I know we've got several people listening tonight and a couple of good examples. You know, I know Alvin's sold several boxes. I know Victoria Hurd has done some great things as well, and Dean and any other guys that I'm missing out. But once you kind of plug into the system and do what you do, I know Bob as well, so I'm looking at the leaderboard as we're talking now. We've got Phil, Russell, Bob, Dean, you know, selling an unbelievable amount of boxes, and we'll be in line for the little private competition prize that we've got going on. But once you actually plug into the system, it isn't a really complicated thing to do. It's following simple steps that if you can do that, you will get some no's, but you'll get a lot of yeses. You actually think it through. Your friends would rather, and your friends and family certainly, and contacts, would rather support you than support Starbucks. And not only that, this is a better product. They will feel better for it. If you have that mindset that you're doing them a favor by them buying this product, it can soon grow. And you'll find with some of the feedback, people post feedback in the WhatsApp group all the time, and some of the positive feedback we get is superb, you know, and it obviously makes it all worthwhile. So what is the mission of Organo Gold as a company, and our mission? To become the most admired corporation in the world. The target doesn't seem like a lot, does it? But to capture 1% of the European coffee market within 3 years. Well, they're nowhere near at the moment, which is the crazy thing. No one's heard of it here. You know, you go to someone in the street and you speak about other network marketing companies. I mean, Herbalife being a good example. Everyone's heard of it. Most people have tried it. No one has here, which is, again, one of the reasons that I was so keen to get involved in this. Their goal is 1%, which they'll get. You know, I've got no doubt. We want to be part of that. This represents an estimated 87 million pounds. The Organo Gold's payout is known as the king of compensation plans. Obviously, they pay out 50% of all that comes into to their distributors, and it is a very lucrative compensation plan. As I say, it can mold to your needs. So, last slide. Are you ready to be the next OG millionaire? As I say, this is the guy there. I'll just finish with this. It's a nice little story. Jose Ardone. He was an air conditioning unit salesman, or repairman even, actually, I think. He, as you see, he's got his nice big check there. He was told about this webinar, told about the 4 steps, told about doing 4 CJMs a week. He mistook that for doing 4 CJMs a day. For a couple of years, he presented this presentation 4 times per day to different people, and obviously he's built a very, very successful business. Now, you know, to some of you that will inspire, maybe not to others, but for me, it is the kind of thing that, of course, the bigger your network and the more that you're open to speaking to people, the quicker you can grow something like this, you know. And hopefully, with us alongside you, we can help you do that. That concludes the presentation. As I say, hopefully you've got a bit of information. Please go back to the person that presented this to you or put you in touch with us. They'll obviously give you more information. You've got the four of us as well. We're on hand all the time. If you want to speak to us and know a bit more and ask a few questions, then, as I say, I'm retired as of Saturday, so I'm here to speak to anyone that's keen to speak about it and discuss how they can potentially build their business. Thank you very much.